The Thanksgiving holiday, a group of leading pediatric doctors gathered today to alert people to the pressure being put on Minnesota hospitals by the soaring number of RSV cases and other viruses right now. Northern News Now's Larissa Millis takes a look at the growing problem and how to protect your family.
'Tis the season for sickness.
We have RSV, influenza, COVID at the same time, mostly influenza and a lot of RSV. RSV affects those who are less than 2 years old the most.
Leaders from Minnesota healthcare providers gathered Monday speaking about what they've seen in their hospitals in recent weeks.
But what's unusual at the current situation is both the timing and this is also a more severe season than we've seen in the past several years.
At Children's Minnesota, doctors say some days there have been 30 to 40 kids waiting in the emergency department for a bed. It's an issue happening all across the state.
The impacts that these respiratory viruses are having on our hospitals and health systems are not just happening here in the metro. We are seeing the same things in greater Minnesota.
To help, doctors say parents shouldn't immediately bring their kids to the ER, but to monitor symptoms if they persist for multiple days and take advantage of virtual health care when they can.
One of the things we've learned from the pandemic, one of the silver linings, is we have figured out ways to deliver this care that's not necessarily in an ER or in a clinic.
Doctors also warning be wary of conspiracies and misinformation.
Get your healthcare information from reliable sources and to remember that there's nothing except your best interests that we're focused on during hard times like this.
Coming together to keep kids healthy.
Have mercy on us. We are working very hard and doing our absolute best.
In Duluth,
We are parents just like you. We are Minnesotans just like you.
Larissa Millis,
And we want to take care of you.
Northern News Now.
At that news conference, doctors said the best thing parents can do to help stop the spread is keep kids home from school and daycare if they experience symptoms of any illness.